guys, we're going to be filming outside again today. I'm hoping to do a 45-minute class and I'm really hoping to get into the hips today, some nice hip openers, so let's see how that works out for us. And with that, let's find a comfortable seat, sitting nice and tall, eyes closed or to a soft gaze in front of you, finding your breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose, allowing your inhales to lengthen and deepen, and on the exhale, really concentrating on moving all of that oxygen back out, taking everything that's spent and used up along with it, moving everything out from your body, making way for that next clean intake of breath, intake of energy and vitality on your next inhale. Quieting the mind, taking this time to bring mind and body together on the mat. One more nice inhale. Exhale, roll your shoulders down and back. Allow your eyes to come open. And sitting in cross-legged, just begin to walk your hands out in front of you. Getting into those hips right away at the beginning of the practice as you fold forward. Nice long spine coming forward. A couple of breaths here. On an inhale, gently walking yourself back up to seated. Taking a second to look down, checking which leg is crossed into the front. We're going to twist to that side. So opposite hand is going to come onto that thigh. Hand on that side, back behind you, close to your seat. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, twisting open, any amount. Gaze can go back towards that back shoulder if it feels okay with your neck. You can also look straight ahead, whatever feels nice. This is the beginning of our practice, so it's not going to be the deepest twist you've ever taken. Remembering to breathe, nice steady inhales and exhales. One more inhale. Keeping that the hand on the thigh right where it is. Back hand is going to come up and over onto the opposite thigh. Inhale, arms come up parallel with your shoulders. Exhale, moving into eagle arms. If you can take the bind, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, you can go back of the hand to back of the hand. Couple of breaths here. Elbows are squeezing together, palms are squeezing together. Neck is nice and long, chin is parallel with the ground. Couple of breaths. Allowing those shoulder blades to separate, pull away from one another. Now you can stay here, or on an exhale you can begin to roll your elbows towards your abdomen. Lower part of your spine stays nice and long as you round through the shoulders and upper part of your back. Couple of breaths. Inhale, gently coming up. Exhale and release. Then we're going to go ahead and switch the cross of our feet, bringing the other foot into the front. And on an exhale, we're going to walk forward into that seated forward fold, getting into those hips. Nice long spine as you come down. Take a few breaths here. rock yourself back up to seated. We're going to twist in the opposite direction this time. So opposite hand is going to come onto that thigh. Hand on that side, back behind you, close to your seat. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, twisting open any amount. Again, check in with your neck, making sure those neck muscles feel nice and comfortable, that we're not straining or pushing the muscles into a position that they are not happy in. One more inhale. Exhale, back hand comes up and across onto that opposite thigh. Inhale, arms up parallel with the shoulders. Exhale, moving into your version of eagle, arms on the second side. Elbows are pressing into one another. Shoulder blades are drawing away from center. Palms are pressing firmly. Chin parallel with the earth. One more nice deep inhale. Exhale, bringing those elbows towards our abdomen, rounding through the shoulders in the upper part of the back. Lower spine stays straight. Always the option not to take this part. On an inhale, slowly coming back up to center. Exhale and release. And let's go ahead and find tabletop. Wrists directly underneath your shoulders, knees under your hips. Nice long spine. Take a second to think about that rib cage. Tuck it up. Maybe envisioning pulling your abdomen away from your shirt front just a little bit. Couple of breaths here. On an exhale, we're going to step our right foot back, toes on the mat, toe pads pressing into the mat, heel pushing towards the back of the room. On an inhale, we're going to take that right foot and we're going to cross it over to the left. We're going to bring our gaze and we're going to peek it around the front of that left shoulder back towards that foot. On an inhale, bringing the right knee back into tabletop. Take a cycle of breath here. Next exhale, stepping your left foot back, toes on the mat, toe pads pressing into the mat, heel pushing towards the back of the room. On an inhale, bring that left foot over to the right. Gaze is going to come around the front of your right shoulder as you peek back towards that foot. Take a few breaths here. On an inhale, bring that knee back into tabletop. Spread your knees just a little bit wide. Press back for a child's pose. Arms outstretched long in front of you. Reaching through the arms and the shoulders forward as you press your hips back towards your heels. On an inhale, we're going to come into tabletop. Exhale, Tuck your toes, press back into down dog. Go ahead and cycle your feet out in this down dog, bending deeply into one knee as you straighten into the other. Walking the dog, pedaling out your feet, whatever you like to call it. As you're ready, pressing both heels back towards the mat. Then I want you guys to bend your knees really deeply as you press into your hands, sending your sit bones up nice and high towards the ceiling. Heels come up off the mat. Take a breath or two here. Now focusing on keeping that length through your arms and your spine. Begin to gently straighten through your knees, pressing your heels back towards the mat. They do not need to touch. Knees do not need to be perfectly straight. Take a breath or two here in full dog. Inhale, looking to the front of the mat. Exhale, walk your feet forward, up in between your hands. Forward fold. Knees can be bent in this first forward fold. In fact, sometimes it feels really, really nice to just lay your torso nice and heavy against the thighs. Maybe grabbing onto opposite elbows for a ragdoll. Or hands back behind your ankles, elbows coming out wide. Take a breath or two here. And again, very gently begin to straighten your knees, stopping when you find that point where your belly wants to move away from your thighs, leaving just that much bend in your knees where you're still connected. Head hangs heavy, neck is relaxed. And then bring your hands back down to the earth. Bend your knees, and on an inhale, we're going to come all the way up. Exhale. Into Tadasana. Okay, we're going to take our feet and we're going to step them hip distance apart. And we're going to come down into a thighs and knees separated chair posture. And I want you to really think about your hip points. Think about pulling them apart, separating them away from one another. You should feel your inner thighs engaging here, outer edges of your hips. Hands come up. Take an inhale here. Exhale, we're going to press forward into ski jump, bringing the weight of our body towards our toes, but not so much that our heels are coming up off the mat. Core's engaging. Inhale, sink into that chair. Sit bones spreading apart. Exhale, ski jump. Inhale, chair. Exhale, ski jump. Inhale, chair. Exhale, ski jump. Inhale back into the chair. Take your exhale here. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. 3 half sun salutations. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward, nice long spine as you come down. Inhale into that halfway lift, really engaging the abdomen muscles and the lower spinal muscles. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, inhale, come all the way up. Exhale. Into Tadasana. I will do that again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, nice and high. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, inhale, come all the way up. Exhale. Tadasana. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale. Tadasana. We're going to move into sun salutations with low crescent. Again, you can always pad your knees whenever you're in a knee down posture. So if you want to flip the corner of your mat over or grab a blanket to put under your knees, certainly feel free to do that. Standing in Tadasana on an inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale into a halfway lift. On your exhale, right foot goes back. Find your lunge first, and then right knee comes down. Toes can stay tucked or top of the foot can lay flat. On your inhale, come up into low crescent. Exhale, hands come down to frame that front foot. Step back into dog. 2 breaths in dog. Inhale, looking to the front of the mat. Exhale, right foot comes forward, up in between your hands. Find your lunge first. Then left knee goes down, toes stay tucked or top of the foot lays flat. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot. Step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale. Tadasana. Same thing, second side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale into a halfway lift. On your exhale, left foot goes back for a lunge. Find the lunge first, then left knee comes down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot. Step back into dog. 2 breaths. Inhale, looking to the front of the mat. Exhale, left foot comes forward, up in between the hands. Right knee goes down. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, hands come down to frame the front foot. Step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale into chair. This time the inside of your big toes are touching. Knees can touch, thighs can touch. Hands can be up by your ears, or you can bring them out in front of you. Palms facing the ceiling for serving platter arms. Couple of breaths here. One more inhale. We're going to exhale right into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot goes back for a lunge. Get grounded, get steady. Strengthen through that back leg. On an inhale, we're going to come up into high lunge. Take a couple of breaths here. Back leg's nice and strong. Knee is pressing towards straight. Front knee is right over ankle. Bring those palms together at heart center. Take an inhale here. Exhale, we're going to twist to the left. Really strengthening through that back leg as your palms press together. Left hip is pushing towards center. Right hip is pushing towards left hip. rotating and lifting through the spine. Inhale, coming back to center. Arms come up. Exhale, hands come down to frame that front foot. Step back into dog. On an inhale, we're going to shift forward to plank or modified plank with your knees on the mat. Exhale, we're going to lower all the way down, nice and slow with control. Hands back behind us, palms facing the floor. Inhale, coming up into locust, getting that nice back bend. Gaze can come up, it does not have to. You can look at the floor. Remembering to breathe here. Fingers and toes are actively pressing towards the back of the room. Shoulder blades drawing towards the spine. One more inhale. Exhale, release. Take a cycle of breath here. Hands under your shoulders. You can press back through tabletop into down dog or into down dog directly. Either way, on an exhale, find dog. Inhale, looking to the front of the mat. Exhale, right foot's gonna come forward, up in between your hands. Get grounded, get stable. Inhale, coming up into high lunge. Back leg is nice and straight. Lots of strength there, supporting the posture. Inhale, hands to heart center. Exhale, twisting open to the right. Hips are drawing towards center. They're pressing towards one another. Palms pressing into each other. Torso is pushing long and straight as you move into the twist. Inhale, coming back to center. Arms come up. Exhale, hands come down to frame that front foot. Step back into dog. Inhale, forward to plank or modified plank with your knees on the mat. Exhale, we're going to lower all the way down one more time, nice and slow. We're going to move into that locust again, hands coming back along our sides, palms facing the floor. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, release. Take a breath here. Inhale, hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Exhale, press back to dog, either through tabletop or straight back on an exhale. Inhale, right foot comes up back behind us. Try and keep your hips parallel, keeping strength in both of your arms, pressing firmly into the mat. Then on an exhale, we're going to open up through that hip as we bring our foot towards our seat, pressing up and back, finding scorpion dog. Inhale, back to three-legged dog. Exhale, we're going to bring that right foot forward and we're going to bring it to the outside of our right hand. Elbow pressing into knee, knee pressing into elbow. Back leg is nice and strong. Now you can stay here in lizard, or you can move into broken triangle. Broken triangle, we're going to bring that foot out. And we're going to bring that hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale, coming back. Right foot comes back into line with the hand. Inhale here. Exhale, step back to dog. First opportunity for a vinyasa if you want to take it. If you want a vinyasa with me, we're going to inhale forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. On an inhale, we're going to bring that left leg up and back behind us, keeping those hips parallel. Couple of breaths here, pressing firmly into both hands. Then on an inhale, we're going to open up into that hips, bringing our foot towards our seat. Scorpion dog. Exhale back into three-legged dog. Inhale, looking to the front of the mat. Exhale, left foot's going to come up onto the outside of our left hand. And again, you can stay here in lizard pose, or you can open it up into broken triangle. Exhale, hand comes down, left foot comes back in line, wide-legged lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, step back to dog. Stay in down dog or take a vinyasa. If you want a vinyasa, we're going to inhale forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, looking to the front of the mat. Exhale, walking or hopping forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, arms up. Exhale into chair. Inhale, hands to heart center. On an exhale, we're going to begin to shift our balance into our left foot. Shift your weight into your left foot. Coming up just a little bit, crossing that right ankle over the left knee and then sinking back down. Figure four chair. Now you can stay here in figure four chair, or you can give yourself a little bit of a twist, maybe a little bit more of a balance challenge. On an exhale, we're going to bring our right elbow to the arch of our left foot as we press open into revolved figure four chair. Inhale, very gently coming back to center. Take an exhale here. Inhale, rising all the way up, bringing that right foot with us. If you've still got some strength in that left leg, go ahead and push back for a warrior three. Hands come down to the floor. Find a standing splits. Sending that right foot towards the ceiling. Hip points are parallel with one another. They're both facing the floor. Left hand can come back behind your left leg as you gently draw your torso towards your leg. On an exhale, gently setting that right foot down, finding a lunge. Take an inhale here. Exhale, step back into dog. Stay in down dog or take a vinyasa. If you want a vinyasa, we're going to inhale forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, looking to the front of the mat. Bend your knees. Exhale, walking or hopping forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale. Tadasana. 2 breaths in Tadasana before we do other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale into chair. Inhale, hands come to heart center. Balancing on our right foot this time. Exhale, rising up slightly, crossing that left ankle over our right knee and then sinking back down. And again, you can stay right here if this is enough. This is good for you. Feel free to stay here. Otherwise, on an exhale, we're going to take our left elbow into the arch of our left foot as we press into revolved figure 4. If you fall over, that's okay. Inhale, gently rising back up to center. If you've still got a little bit of strength left in that right foot, coming to standing, and then exhale, pressing back into warrior 3. Not a big deal if that right leg is getting a little tired, the hip is tired. Yoga is all about stretching our endurance, taking it past what we thought we could do. Exhale, hands coming down onto the mat as we tip into that standing splits. Right hand can come back behind the right leg as you gently draw your torso towards the leg. Then on an exhale, bending through that right knee, finding a lunge. Left foot comes back behind you. Take an inhale here. Exhale, step back into dog. Stay in down dog or take a vinyasa with me. If you want a vinyasa, we're going to inhale forward to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, looking to the front of the mat. Exhale, left foot comes forward for a lunge. Inhale, we're going to come up into high lunge. Exhale, we're going to open up into warrior 3. Adjust your feet as you need to. A couple of breaths here. Really engaging through that back glute, turning it on, seeing if you can feel that rotation open of that back thigh. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Back hand can travel down the back of down your back leg, or you can bring it around for a half bind. If you're in that half bind, you might want to keep that hand there as you straighten that front leg, and on an exhale, come down into triangle. You can stay in that half bind in triangle, Or you can extend those top fingertips towards the ceiling or the sky if you're lucky enough to be practicing outside today. On an exhale, bending into that front knee, finding warrior two. Take an inhale here. Exhale, windmill your hands down to frame that front foot. Peel your back heel up off the mat, finding lunge. Inhale here. Exhale, step back to dog. On an inhale, looking to the front of the mat. Exhale, we're going to bring our right foot forward, up in between our hands. I didn't plan this very well, so I'm going to be showing you my backside, sorry. Inhale, we're going to come up into high lunge. Exhale, straighten that front leg, opening up into warrior two. Readjusting your feet as you need to, finding that nice solid warrior two. Again, think about really engaging that back glute, turn it on, opening up through that back thigh, rolling it up and open. Front palm to the ceiling. Inhale, peaceful warrior. And again, if you're in that half bind, you might want to keep that hand there as you straighten your front leg and exhale, coming down into triangle. Staying in the half bind if that feels nice to you, or extending those top fingertips to the ceiling. On an exhale, bending into that front knee, coming up into warrior two. Inhale here. Exhale, windmill your hands down to frame that front foot, peeling your back heel up off the mat. Take another inhale. Exhale, step back into dog. Inhale, looking to the front of the mat. Exhale, bend your knees. Hop forward or step forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, inhale, come all the way up. Exhale. Tadasana, okay. Balancing on our left foot, getting nice and grounded, nice and strong, engaging those hip muscles. We're going to bring our right knee up towards our chest. You can take your fingers and wrap it around your shin. Foot should stay flexed. That helps your leg muscles remember to stay engaged on the raised leg. Shoulders nice and strong. Shoulder blades drawing towards the center of your back just a little bit. Left hand can come to your hips, or you can send it out to the side for counterbalance. And we're just going to push that right knee open. So you can stay here with bent knee if you have a little bit more balance and your foot is accessible. You can reach down, grab onto those toes or yogi toe hold, whatever feels nice to you. Balancing outside is always a little bit more of a challenge. It's harder to find something to put that focal point on. Inhale, coming back to center. Maybe grabbing onto the outside of your foot with the opposite hand as you move into a twist. Right hand can extend back behind you. Gaze can follow if you've got that. Coming back to center. Releasing that foot as gracefully as possible. Coming back into Tadasana. Shake it out a little bit. All right. Balancing on our right leg. Really engaging those right hip muscles, keeping everything in line with the torso. Bringing that left leg up towards center. Fingers interlacing across the front of your shin. Take a couple of breaths here. Right hand's going to come onto the hip or out to the side for counterbalance. We're going to bring the left hand to the inside of our left knee as we rotate that leg open. Again, you can stay here or you can reach down for those toes. Yogi toe hold, maybe finding a strap here. You want to straighten out that left leg. Inhale, coming back to center. Right hand can come to the outside of your left foot if you have that, moving into a twist. Left hand can wing back behind you. Gaze can stay straight ahead or you can shift that gaze back towards your left hand. Coming back to center, nice and gentle. Exhale and release as gracefully as possible, maybe better than I did. Finding Tadasana, couple breaths in Tadasana. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale into a halfway lift. On your exhale, let's step your right foot back for a lunge. Bring that right knee down onto the mat. We're going to move into half Hanuman here, so if you like to have blocks underneath your hands, go ahead and hit pause and take time to find those. On an exhale, we're going to begin to shift our torso up and back as we straighten through that front leg, coming up nice and high. That's why blocks are really handy here, so you can get your torso up nice and high. Foot stays flexed. Check in with that knee. You want a little bit of softness there. With a nice long spine, on an exhale, we're going to fold forward over that front leg any amount. On an inhale, gently rising up. Exhale, beginning to shift forward. Hands come forward to frame that front foot. Right knee comes back up off the mat. On an exhale, step back to dog. Take a moment in down dog. Then on your next inhale, looking to the front of the mat. Exhale, right foot comes forward, up in between your hands. Left knee goes down. Inhale, beginning to shift your torso up and back as you straighten through that front leg. Right toes come up off the mat. Spine is nice and long here. Check in with that front knee. You want a little bit of softness there. On an exhale, nice long spine. We're going to gently begin to fold forward over that right leg. Any amount. Finding the level of stretch that feels nice to you. On an inhale, gently coming back up. exhale, walking yourself forward. Hands come up to frame that front foot, back of the toes touch. Tuck, left knee comes up off the mat, find your lunge, and on an exhale, step back into dog. Take a moment in down dog. Inhale, looking to the front of the mat. Exhale, we're going to bring our right knee forward for pigeon. If pigeon doesn't work for you, feel free to come down onto your back and take reclined figure 4 on both sides. Otherwise, let's bring our torso up nice and high, getting in a little bit of a back bend here, taking advantage. Then on an exhale, beginning to walk your hands forward. Folding over that front leg. Be aware that you're not feeling anything uncomfortable or icky in the front knee. If you are, I advise you come out of pigeon and take reclined figure 4. On an inhale, gently rising up. Bending that extended foot towards your seat. We're going to reach back with our left hand, grab the inside of the foot or the top of the foot, and just gently drawing that foot towards our seat, getting into that front of the left thigh just a little bit. On an exhale, release that foot. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Tuck your left toes. Step back into dog. Take a moment in down dog. Inhale, looking to the front of the mat. Exhale, we're going to bring our left knee forward for pigeon. Walking that right leg back just a little bit if that feels nice. Finding that back bend. Pressing up and back. On an exhale, walking your hands forward, releasing into the fold. A couple of breaths here. Releasing, letting everything go. Let your hips sink deeply towards the mat. On an inhale, gently coming up. We're going to take our right foot and bring it up towards our seat. We're going to reach back, grabbing the inside of that right foot or the top of the foot, and we're just gently drawing that foot towards our seat, releasing and stretching out those muscles in the front of the right thigh. One more inhale. Exhale, gently release. Hands come underneath your shoulders. Tuck your right toes. Step back into down dog. Taking a moment to feel the sensations through your legs in dog. Inhale, looking to the front of the mat. Exhale, finding a seat. Bringing your feet out in front of you. Knees pointing towards the ceiling. We're going to move through one bridge pose, and then we're going to come into Savasana. So we're going to come back down onto our backs. Knees pointing towards the ceiling. Hands along our sides. Take a moment here in constructive rest. We've been moving pretty steadily through our practice for about 40 minutes. Pressing our arms nice and firmly into the mat. On an inhale, we're going to begin to bring our pelvis up off the mat, pressing our feet into the mat as we push up with our glute muscles. Walking our shoulders underneath our torso just a little bit. Hands can stay where they are, or you can bring them together under your seat, interlacing the fingers as you press them towards your heels. Nice, slow, steady breathing here. One more inhale. Exhale, gently release, slowly bringing your pelvis down onto the mat. Taking a couple of breaths in constructive rest. Hands down alongside our hips. On an inhale, we're going to extend our feet towards the ceiling. Knees are pressing towards straight, feet are flexed. Inside of your feet can be touching each other. Take a moment here in this waterfall position. And very gently tip your toes towards the sky or the ceiling. On an exhale, inhale, flex your feet. Exhale, tip your toes. Inhale, flex. Exhale, tip. Inhale, flex. And just exhale here. Keeping your feet together, allow your toes to tip naturally to the ceiling. You're not pressing them up. You're not pulling them down. They're just at a natural angle. And we're going to begin to draw small circles with our feet. Rolling out the low back. Allow those circles to get a little bit bigger. Finding a pace and a rhythm that feels nice to you. And then slowly letting them begin to get smaller again. Gently coming back to center in your own time at your own pace. When your feet still, begin to move them in the opposite direction. Then allow them to begin to slow down again. Gently and naturally, organically coming back to center. Let them still. Draw your knees towards your torso. Wrap your arms around your shins. Maybe flex your feet up and down a little bit. Do some ankle circles, whatever feels nice. Continue to roll out your low back if that feels good. Take a breath or two. And then on an exhale, release into Savasana. Legs come out long in front of you. Shoulder blades tucked gently underneath, palms scoop to the ceiling. Find your breath. This time we're not trying to manipulate or change it. We're just being aware of the inhales and exhales as they move through our body. As you continue to focus on your breath, beginning to find softness in your body, softness in your feet, your ankles. Soften your legs and your hips. Really, maybe take a second to focus a little bit longer on those hip muscles and hip joints. We worked them a little hard today, so take a little bit of extra time to find softness there, releasing, relaxing, letting it go. I invite you to very gently come back into the room, back to your awareness. Allowing your inhales and exhales to begin to lengthen and deepen as you come back to your body, back to your breath. Gently beginning to make small movements with your fingers and your toes as you continue to reawaken and revitalize. If it feels nice, you can stretch your arms out long overhead and take a full body stretch. Very gently bringing the soles of your feet to the floor, knees pointing towards the ceiling or leaning in against one another. We'll take a couple of breaths here in constructive rest. As you feel ready, gently making your way onto your right hand side, maybe letting your eyes come open to a soft gaze, allowing in a little bit of light. And then using your hands for support, meeting me in a seated position. I want to thank you guys so much for practicing with me today. As always, these practices are coming from my heart, and I hope that we are able to get together very, very soon in person. And until that time, I will keep making these videos for anybody who wants to utilize them or feels that they need to get a practice in. And with that, I bid you namaste. It's Saturday here, and I think it's starting to cloud up. We could actually use some rain, so maybe that'll happen this afternoon. Thanks so much for practicing with me. Namaste.